All right, folks, let's go ahead and hop into it today. The late show. We'll play some Final Fantasy IV. I'm not sure what I want to rant about today. I think what I would do is just make a point. Talked about Gaming Ground Zero a little bit. This is another point of Gaming Ground Zero. Besides the fact that like all the modern franchises start in 2007. We'll take a look at one, Mass Effect, which started in 2007 and is getting a Legendary Edition. Now, this Legendary Edition is a visual upgrade. I use that term kind of loosely because in so much as it is a visual upgrade, it's like the difference between GameCube and OG Xbox. And this is kind of where the gaming industry is they can't make anything new and really interesting and exciting. They've gone the full photorealistic route for so long that all they can do is continue to upgrade the photorealistic graphics to be more photorealistic. Yeah, 2007 had Burning Crusade for WoW. It had Halo 3. It had Mass Effect. It had Overlord. It had Call of Duty 4. It had just Assassin's Creed. It had pretty much every big game. BioShock. They're making a fourth BioShock game. I saw they had a job posting actually for a writer, and it's going to be open world. So BioShock is officially joining the MUD genre. Anyway, so Mass Effect came out in 2007. They're doing a Legendary Edition. I thought it might be fun to take a look at some of the comparisons here, because while they are giving the game modern effects, what you end up seeing from these modern effects is really not that much. Let me find a couple of quick comparison shots so you guys can see what's up. In some cases, it's like, okay, here's a city. Oh, look, we have a lens flare on the sun, but this isn't really improved from the original really at all. And in some cases, it's actually a visual downgrade. Let me see if I can find some of the comparison shots here. So in some cases, it's a visual downgrade in ways that you maybe are not expecting. So the original FemShep, I'm using an ad blocker, of course I am. I turn on ads for people I care about. The original FemShep versus this version of Female Shepherd. This highlights the difference between aesthetics and fidelity. This is a higher fidelity image, but it's not more attractive than the original in any way. But you also get some even weirder things like, let me see if I can find the one that I found earlier when I was talking about this on Twitter. Like, you have this shot of Ash. The old version looks better than the new version in a bunch of different ways. So the higher contrast lighting has a lot stronger and more emotive effect. It looks more realistic than this very flat, very even lighting. The old version just straight up looks better than the newer version. And someone pointed this out on Twitter, and whoever did it is right. Here's the old version, here's the new version. So the old version has a high contrast feel that makes it look and feel more realistic, a darker sci-fi setting, a little bit more noir. There's a film grain effect on the original Mass Effect game as well that adds to the atmosphere of the game, and I'm sure they took that out because they took it out with the second game when they decided to go with a little bit different visual style for Mass Effect 2. Not necessarily a worse style, but different. But you lose the gritty feeling of the original. So things look a lot flatter. You notice and if you look closely at Ash's face, they redrew her face in a way that I think makes her less attractive. So it could just be the fact that it's very even lighting, making her look very flattened out. But I think she looks better in the original version of the game. And you'll find this like all throughout it. It's like, if this is a visual upgrade, it's like barely. So this, pop in some higher res textures. That's great, I guess. But the difference between these two images is really like the difference between the GameCube and the OG Xbox. In other words, it's not a big difference. The OG Xbox was a more powerful system than the Nintendo GameCube. Its competitor, right? The Nintendo GameCube being a little bit better in terms of fidelity on average than the PlayStation 2. So maybe the biggest difference you're going to see is between the PS2 and the OG Xbox. Systems that were in the same generation. Now, keep in mind, this is a game from now, not last gen, but the gen before last. Right? You would expect to see a bigger visual upgrade, but there's virtually none to be found. And in fact, you will lose the aesthetic sensibilities of the game in many of these shots, even though the textures are higher, or they're using better lighting models or ray tracing or something like that. And yes, Eli has a point. They're still going to sell it for $60. So this is where you're at with modern gaming, is trying to, and I think the wheels have to fall off of this remaster train, because it made sense for a game maybe like Final Fantasy 12, where you had that game come out at the end of the PS2 era in standard definition, and here you have a better system, the PlayStation 4 and of course the PC, which can pump those graphics up a lot higher. You can throw in your original higher res textures and just kind of upscale everything, and it's just going to look better without losing really any of the aesthetic sensibilities of the original Final Fantasy 12 game. Some people have argued that there's a more impressionistic effect when you're looking at it on a CRT in that lower resolution environment on the PS2. And while that might be true, I think the higher fidelity in general makes the game just way better, because there's a lot of sharp textures and there's a lot of detail in the game. So that you could see, oh, well, doing a remaster of that, it actually looks a lot better. It looks a lot more modern. It's widescreen. What are you going to do with Mass Effect? It was already an HD game to begin with. You know, I played it on the PC and it looked and ran great, and I could run it on 3 monitors if I really wanted to. You're not going to deliver a better experience really at this point. It's going to be maybe higher fidelity, but lower on the quality of the aesthetics, and definitely lower on the quality of the shall we say, the emotive qualities of what's there. I found a really great one that compared 2 versions of Captain Anderson. I really want to find that one again, because boy, it just highlights exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can find it down here somewhere. I think, yeah, here it is. It was on Eurogamer. So anyway, we'll take a look at this. This is just the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Yeah, accept cookies. Give me them cookies. No, I'm not turning off the ad blocker right now. I'm going to open the image. New tab. Here we go. Anyway, so like the original, notice the high contrast. Very bright, very dark. The new one, very even lighting throughout. And because of the even lighting, you can actually tell some of the problems with the details, like in the collar having these rather sharp edges because it's not perfectly round and all that. Yeah, it's higher resolution for the textures, but the effect is not nearly as good in my opinion. Like it'd be, if they could upgrade this but keep the lighting the same, you'd have something to say. Instead, what they did was just generally try to upgrade the model and make him look a little bit more realistic. And you lose some of the emotive quality in his eyebrows because of that lack of contrast in his face. He has this expression with this almost noir-like presentation where the right half of the face is in total darkness. That is just better. And I guarantee you, if you see this live, because I remember these shots, it's going to be a more pleasing and more evocative experience to just play the original. So my big fear, though, is like you're going to lose access to the original somehow. So this happened, I think, when they did the remaster of The Last Remnant, one of my favorite JRPGs from, I guess, the generation before last. I think a real forgotten classic. Very unique play system, very unique story from Square Enix. And great aesthetics, too. Once the remaster was available, you couldn't buy the Steam version anymore. And the Steam version really didn't look any worse than the remaster. In fact, if you were to compare it to, say, the Switch, if you bought the remaster on the Switch, and I have it on the Nintendo Switch because I wanted to play it mobile, and I got a lot of value. I actually got the value out of it, in my opinion. But you play the original on the PC, you actually can pump the graphics up more, even more. They just kind of ported it into Unreal Engine 4, and that's you know, the basis of the remaster for that. It's not really any better than Unreal 3. So anyway, correction about Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age remaster washed out the colors on the textures, so there was a loss in aesthetics. I don't really think so. Not in my experience. But I've played both versions. It's been a long time since I played the PS2 version. I don't think it washed out the colors really at all. But you know, maybe if you're playing on like a CRT, it's definitely gonna have a different color feel versus an LCD. Game journalists will be writing greatest of all time lists full of different remaster editions of the same games. Yeah, and they're gonna do a remake of The Last of Us. Now I have The Last of Us remastered for PS4 because I think it came with my system, like a Costco deal or something, like when it was released. I don't remember, but I got it pretty early on, and I was like, this doesn't really look any better than the PlayStation 3 version, other than the frame rate didn't dip constantly. I didn't really have it on the PlayStation 3, but I played it, you know, on the PlayStation 3, other people's systems. So it's one of those things like they're going to remake that. Where are you going to go visually? It's like, oh, we're going to add more polygons and higher textures. And for people who aren't playing on like a 4K screen that's huge where you can see that, they're not going to notice anything. You know, if you're playing on a normal size TV, it's not really going to look that different. And certainly you haven't fixed any gameplay issues, you know. Anyway, to me, it's just all completely, you know, you're completely missing the point with stuff like that. So anyway, that's my rant for the day with those. Let's see what chat's up to today. I think Super Mario Galaxy was 2007. Twilight Princess was very end of 2006. Oblivion was towards the end of 2006. Gears of War was towards the end of 2006. So basically, and I have this, it's on, you know, I've linked the articles. JD Cowan has a great article about it, and I wrote one on my blog about Gaming Ground Zero. All your favorite stuff pretty much came out in 2007, and we haven't really had a big, at least in the AAA industry in the West, we haven't really had anything to replace that since. So anyway, that is that. Let's go ahead and pop into Final Fantasy IV, and we'll continue chatting a little bit. That is. See if I can get this. There it is. So, Final Fantasy IV. When I do the full video, I'll talk about some of the different versions here. There we go. That's nice. There are several versions of both versions, Final Fantasy IV and the After Years. There's a 3D version of After Years if you get it on the PC. This PSP version is unique. There's no other version, and there's no other way to get it. So once it leaves digital stores in July, you won't be able to get this version anymore unless you buy a used PSP copy and pop it into your PSP. It's the only way you'll get it. I think I got this slightly off the edge of the screen here. Huh? There it goes. That's a little odd. Okay, here we go. So I went ahead and got back. Oh, you know what I forgot? I totally saved a state so we could just pop back into the Eidolon cave. Is that it? I think it's this one. All right. Is the After Years worth playing? I haven't played it in a long time, and I might play it on stream because I kind of blew through this game on my vacation. So we'll see. But I think it's a little bit boring. I don't think you really need to play it. It's certainly what I would consider optional. Not necessary at all to enjoy this story. Now, I don't know where this goes. I don't know if this goes somewhere or... Ah, there we go. Let's save. Alright. Now let's see if we can challenge some of the summoners here and get us a cool summon. Speaking of which, I'm looking for a good game to play on PC from around 2007. I already played Bioshock, not into MMOs. Recommendations. There's a bunch. So if you want a really wacky, fun game, one of my son's favorite games, you can play a game called Overlord. It's called Overlord. It's what I would call like a AA title, but it has a great aesthetic sense to it. Basically, you're the Dark Lord, and so it wakes you up with these little goblin guys that look like they're from Gremlins. These little gremlin guys waking you up and telling you that you're the new Overlord, and they need you to boss them around. So it kind of plays like an evil Pikmin, if you've ever played Pikmin. So it's like evil Pikmin. And, your job is to re-terrorize the countryside so that the peasants will recognize you as Dark Lord again. And you can actually kind of be a good guy while you do that too. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do with that particular game. So that's a really fun one. Great little fantasy game. It gets kind of unbalanced in the challenge towards the end. In other words, like the ending, kind of the last couple levels get really hard all of a sudden, and that's probably the biggest negative I could say about it. Very well, but first you must prove your worth. That is how it's done here. Do you possess the strength and courage to challenge me? Yes. Let's try it. Let us begin the test. Gravity Rush for the Vita is awesome. I have it. It's great. They closed down the studio though. We have a silence. We're gonna have to try to silence this. Each time we hit it, maybe it changes faces. I'm trying to see. Let's do dragon. See what that does. I have a silence here. I'm all over the map in terms of genre. Other games I've liked from around that era: Bloodlines, Deadly Premonition, LA Noire, and Borderlands. Yeah. So Overlord's very unique. It's very weird. But it's a really good game, and it did spawn a couple of little sequels. Overlord 2, which is a cool game. And there's even like an Overlord minion game on the DS that I think they came out with. It's casting rays on itself. That's interesting. Started playing Grand Theft Auto 4 a couple months ago, but I got tired of it. I actually like Grand Theft Auto 4 probably better than most Grand Theft Auto games. Oh, he died. Dang it. Cover him for a turn. But yeah, Overlord, check it out. You could probably get it on a sale pretty cheap. Wow, that hit pretty hard, didn't it? Casting rays for some reason. Not weird. I haven't figured out like the mechanics of this boss. I have to double heal real quick here. Do Hiraga. Blizzaga. What's great about a lot of games from 2007 is that they hadn't hit like the computer wall. Crysis was also from 2007. And I think that inspired a lot of mud genre games because it was a shooter. I think like Far Cry just kind of ended up being that, even though it's from the same company. I think Crysis is better. But anyway, yeah. Overlord has very unique gameplay. Oh, man. Let's get him up. Phoenix down. Cast wall on Asura. Her spells will reflect onto you. Then use physical attacks and summon monsters. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Let's do a high potion. Their wall, I think it's actually reflect in this version of the game. Alright. That I didn't think of that. It should bounce onto our guys. Alright. It's in Blizzaga again. Oh no! Ooh, that's gonna... I didn't think that through. Didn't think that through. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Might have to reload. Gonna kill, Oh, wow, that hit hard. Alright, maybe that'll raise him. Raise him back! Oh, it missed. Alright, whatever. We'll raise... Raise him back. Let's hit him with a high potion. There we go. Sweet. Buffing us. I think Shiva's ice. Try that. Thank you for that, Brian. Oh, wrong person. The summon monsters will get through the reflect. Let's try it out. You can rename these characters on What's the Takeaway. I didn't want to this time. So this version of the game, yes, you can rename them. In other versions of the game, you can't rename them. So if you're playing the 3D remake, you can't rename the characters. I don't know why that's the case, but they did that. Sweet, healed my dude. I don't know why they did that, but you can't. It's kind of a joke if you play the 3D remake. My freelance graphic design work has been picking up lately. I wonder if I could support myself just doing freelance. Well, if you were to emulate what I do, it's not about one thing, right? You have a couple different income streams that you can rely on. And actually, let's take this time. Let's cast haste on... so, you know, you may have, well, you do like a freelance design work. You may also, I don't know, sell pre-made book covers. You may work doing, you know, work for a company, doing something else. You know, you can, I don't know, take commissions, take art commissions. Try dragon again. Oh, I think reflect faded. Yeah, Naming Way can rename. There's a little character called Naming Way, and he'll let you rename your characters whatever you want. See who does this heal? Okay, we'll do. I bought a lot of high potions for just such an event. There we go. Well, let's summon. Try Ifrit this time. See what happens. Here we go. Hellfire! Let's see if this does anything. Yeah, leverage the top 3 into individual income streams. It's a good idea. That way, like, if any one thing falls off, you're not like completely sunk for that month, you know. You know, any one thing, you can survive basically any one thing not being good. At least for a little while. You know, if like Amazon changes its algorithm and my revenue goes down, it's like not that big of a deal because I have YouTube and, you know, other stuff that will offset that. Besides Fiverr, do you know of any other freelancing platforms? Not off the top of my head. Like Twitter. You know, you can always market yourself on... I don't know why that misses. It's actually... I'll just do that. Ah, this keeps getting one shot here. Healed her up. I don't want to lose her too. Well, Phoenix down, Mr. Sleepy boy there. If you're gonna go freelance, I highly recommend building your own website. Yeah. All right. Reflect. Yeah, that's lucky. It's got protect on. Oh, that sucks. Let's steal something. Yeah, Edge is getting hit pretty hard here. Couldn't steal anything. No, that's a waste there. Let's attack. Play Final Fantasy IV on my phone. The updated look is nice and all, very charming, but I think I prefer the old school look. I do too. The 3D, it's not bad. It's really not. But I don't think it's aged very well. It's from 2006. You know. That was a while ago. Upwork. I guess Upwork's another one. I thought he was getting Protect cast on him by the boss. Maybe not. Yeah, he's getting wrecked here. But it, like, the reflected rays doesn't work on him for some reason. Yeah, we can see if Ninja Magic does it. Try it out. I thought I'd like Final Fantasy 3 in 3D, but I didn't dig the look, and it's aged horribly, as you say. Well, the Final Fantasy 3 aged a lot better than Final Fantasy 4. Final Fantasy 4 aged really badly. Because Final Fantasy 3 went for the chibi look, it hasn't aged quite as badly. Like, it definitely shows its age, but it's not nearly as bad as all that. Man, every time. And the raise just doesn't work on our guys, I guess. Just the timing is really bad here. Hiraga. Let's see if we can get that off here. Yeah, the graphics were going to age well. It wasn't immobile in 64. There we go. We win. Yay! But it was about the level of a PlayStation 1 or in 64 in terms of its power, you know. Rydia, summon me at will. Rydia has learned Asura. I think I could fight the king here too, but we'll probably want to go rest up first. Yeah, here's naming way. And we could change our names if we want to. But I'm just leaving them as is because I want to. I think of these characters as their canon names, I guess, and not very much like special names. So here's a fun little tip. You can just buy a lot of tents. They're way more cost effective than cottages, and just use several of them. You know, you can use 5 tents for the same cost as one cottage. You know, it's not. Did you find the hidden teleport tiles in this village? I don't think I did. Well, let's find out. Need to use another tent. Oh, you're watching The Mess a few suburbs over. I didn't realize you were in Minnesota. Alright. That sucks. Alright. Yeah, I got yeeted off Twitter. That's why, you know, I'm happy to live rural. I've gone in here. I wonder what they sell in here. Blitz Whip. That looks cool. A Kotetsu. He has that. Fairy Rod. Angel Arrows. Those look pretty good. Let's get the Blitz Whip. Oh, my inventory's full. There is actual inventory things in this one. I don't think we need the healing staff anymore. Blitz Whip. There we go. I think you find the teleport tile last week. Oh, I found one that teleports you out of the entire thing. That upset me because I was like, oh, what? There's a bomb. Aegis Shield. Brings up magic defense, I guess. It prevents petrify. Luminous Robe. Let's buy two of those. Put those on. Luminous Robe. Cannot remove. Full inventory. Let's see. Let's get rid of the chain whip. Oh, the rat tail. I can have the ultimate weapon made, I think. With the rat tail. I have a Genji shield. I got that off the moon. Sell some of this stuff. Let's get rid of that. Not going to use that. So we can get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. I'm not going to use those again. Hidden tile in the south section of the village top level that leads to 4 treasures. Let's see if we found it. These might not be so hidden in this one. See, there it is. I think you could just see it in this version of the game. Yeah, I already got those treasures, I think, last time. And then that tile took me out of the area, I think, entirely, and I had to do the entire dungeon again. Yeah, Moonsong Book 3, it's an editing job, and it's a pretty substantial one because it's an earlier book, and my time has been really short since my mother-in-law died, and that's just how things are sometimes. I've been traveling, so I'm getting that out as soon as I can. Most of the harder editing work is just rewriting some larger sections to make just the overall plot work better. And yeah, so that's what's going on with that one. And then we'll work on book 4 and book 5 and book 6. There's quite a bit more story. So the end of book 3 is kind of the end of the first big, I don't know, trilogy of books, where you get to a really good, solid resolution at that point. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go here. Does this take me to the upper level? No, lower level is where I want to be. Yeah, trip was good. My grandmother's old. She's 93. Oh yeah, this is where I want to go. This is Eidolon Library. Yeah, you can read all kinds of little things here, like, you know, things about the world. It's a great example of kind of passive, or, you know. Odin, legendary master of the famed Zantetsuken. His only loss in battle occurred when lightning struck the massive sword. Eidolon King, the proud and seemingly invincible leader of the Fey March, mastered the northern oceans that are said to be his birthplace. Yeah. Anyway, so we could go fight the king. Let's give it a shot. I don't know if I saved. I'll create a little save. Create a little save spot here. Save state. I feel you. Very sorry about your mother-in-law. Thank you. I had a coworker pass away recently after a lengthy sick leave from work. Things have been crazy lately. Yeah. You know, I was seeing there were some people that were getting possibly getting a blood clot from one of the vaccines, the coronavirus vaccines. It reminded me that birth control pills can cause fatal blood clots. And this girl I grew up with died right after she got married because she was taking birth control pills, and they caused her to have like a massive stroke that killed her. Really bizarre, but it's a thing. You may have defeated Azura, but you cannot overcome evil with strength alone. A strong spirit is required to steer one's powers towards righteousness. Will you test your spirit against my powers? Yes. Deluge. Wow, that hit hard. That means we summon Asura. Let's find out what this does. We summon this on ourselves. Let's find out. Okay, so that is a group-wide raise. All right, we figured that one out. All right, we figured that one out. Try drain, see what that does. If that helps out at all. Nothing. Two words. Lightning element. Oh, Blitz. Blitz will probably hit him pretty hard. Let's do Blitz. I didn't see how hard that hit because it was covered up. Let's Kiraga. Blitz. He's a water elemental, so usually they're weak to lightning. Let's see, I don't remember what some of these do. I think Rama is the lightning one. I think it's Rama. Yeah, sweet. Let's see what this does. I remember on the like on the SNES, I thought his beard was like tentacles. I thought he was like an octopus monster. Didn't hit quite as hard as I was hoping. Uh-oh. Man, this is just really bad timing. Need to pump everyone up here to overcome this. We'll get him up. Let's, I do like the presence of like the Phoenix Pinion in later games. I think that helps out quite a bit. Oh boy. Yeah, the timing is really bad. I can't really get a spell off because I keep getting, like, one shot here. Let's see if I have one that will cast the haste. I don't remember what these do. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Not auto. We're gonna lose for sure now. We're out of mana. You mentioned on Twitter earlier, but what exactly makes baby formula poisonous? It's just really got a lot of gross stuff in it. It's got like corn syrup solids. You know, the thing about formula is it's not like an evil thing per se. It's a necessary thing for some people who can't produce breast milk. But it's also something that the companies who make formula have done really bad things. I think I'm just going to I think I'm gonna reload this. I'm gonna start this over again. I'm just wasting time though. Try this again. Wasn't quite sure what I should be doing here. I'm gonna do big heals every time. Yeah, see, the blitz hits pretty hard. Now, the unfortunate thing about this summon is that sometimes it casts Raise and sometimes it casts Kiraga, and you can't tell which. Let's see what we can get through here. Yeah, it's most baby formula, like, and they promoted it years ago. You know, I'm talking like 60 or 70 years ago, because science made it, and because science made it, it's better than like your normal breast milk. It was considered icky to breastfeed, or it was something that like only black people did. This was a thing that like my grandparents would say. It's like the doctor said, you know, only black people would breastfeed their babies, which basically meant that you weren't supposed to do it as a white person. If that makes any sense at all. Let's see what this ends up casting here. If it doesn't cast Kiraga, then we'll do it here. All right, good. Let's go slow. This is easier than the last fight. Haste Rydia and let her spam Rama. Slow Leviathan. Don't waste your frontline magic users' turns using items. That's Rose's job. It's just the timing. Like, the timing is like constantly slightly off here. See how much Rama does. I appreciate it, Brian, though. This is the thing sometimes you end up with in this game, is like the timing ends up being off. Kiraga. Maybe we need Kiraja. That's a pretty big heal. I actually don't think we need a heal that big. I think we just need Kiraga. Let's see if we... Oh, no! It didn't... Man, just missed it. Crappy baby formula killed a bunch of babies in China. Well, they sent it out. They sent people out to rural Africa to pretend to, basically to pretend to be nurses, and taught women to use formula. And of course, they couldn't afford the formula, so they would water it down with dirty water, you know, which got the baby sick. It caused babies to die. You know, Nestle actually did this. It's pretty weak, but that's kind of what you end up with. Oh boy. That didn't do anything. Yeah, Rama's not really hitting all that hard, considering the cost of the magic there. Don't worry about Cecil. He's useless in this fight. Get him up. There we go. There we go. Still hitting for 1,000 every time, which is pretty good. Maybe we're gonna spam this summon though. Go. Cecil's still pretty effective. He's hitting for 1,000 every time, you know. So he's hitting for 60% of the value of the other characters. So he's still hitting pretty hard. And I don't even have ultimate weapon on him. 1,200. Yeah, he's not ineffective. You could probably use either. We'll get 2 more zaps out of him. There's a female UFC fighter named Rose Namajunas. Or Namajunas, I don't know where she is. She's fighting a Chinese fighter. Student said, better dead than red, and now the cancel sheep are making noise. Good. I remember people were wanting to cancel over, like, Joe Rogan. Over Fallon Fox. If you don't know who Fallon Fox was, people didn't know this initially somehow. It didn't come to light until later. Fallon Fox is a man. And was fighting in the women's division. Yeah, that hits pretty hard. Kiraga. Yeah, he's still hitting pretty hard. Let's see if I have Zeus's Wrath here. Let's use that. That should hit him pretty hard. Hit him for 1. Hit him for 1. It's great. $1,600. Yeah, Thundara's hitting pretty hard. We'll just use Thundara, I think, for some of this. Big heals. There we go. 7,000 XP. Edge gained a level. Mirage learned. I wonder what Mirage does. Indeed, your spirit is righteous. I, Leviathan, Eidolon King, shall serve you. Rydia has learned Leviathan. I think we got everything out of this this little area. Alright. Now, let's save our game before we forget. Stock up on items. I don't think we can buy ethers here. I think you can buy ethers on the moon. Once you can buy ethers, that's really helpful. Because managing your mana through a dungeon is one of the harder things to do. Called what Rose said about communism stereotypical nonsense. You mean like the guaranteed starvation, statism, and collapse? She's Lithuanian. I felt like her family would know. Yeah. For real. This is a really funny thing in the West, and by funny I mean awful. But you have Westerners who, I don't know why they believe in communism. Well, I know why. It's because they've been indoctrinated by public school to believe that communism is just another just another system and can be used, however you want it to be used. And it's only bad because there were bad people in charge, things like that. And somebody from the Eastern Bloc will be like, let me tell you what it was like living under communism. And they're like, they just don't want to believe that. They just want to get that person to shut up. And like even people who had it okay under communism will have all kinds of stories about like the weirdness that you wouldn't even think of. Like to get a car in communist Russia was very difficult and required all kinds of like string pulling in the political side. Could have just stayed at the inn, but yeah, I should have just stayed at the inn. What was I doing using tents? I forgot this inn was here. Oh well. Buy some more tents. Buy 4 more tents. Oh well. No, actually, I think I saved money because the tents are only 100 gil, and the stay was 1600 gil. So that was quite a bit. I think we saved money by buying the tents. Buy like 10 more of those bad boys. Gnomish bread, greens, remedies. Remedies are expensive. Buy 10 more of those bad boys. Actually, let's buy items. There we go, 27 Phoenix Down. We actually should just buy a bunch of Phoenix Down. Just buy like 30 more, why not? Yeah, it's kind of funny how people unlock their spells. At one point, like, Tella's just like, he remembers everything he forgot. I dig it. Alright, I think we're done with this area, so let's head out. I don't remember if there's like a portal out down here somewhere or what. I don't know if I want to buy that Aegis shield. I think you get one. Let me check. Like, I think that Aegis shield, it prevents petrify, which I think is really useful in the Sylph Cave, so we'll buy it. Even though it's not as good as the Genji shield, I think it prevents... I think it prevents the all the petrified that goes out in the next little level here. I don't think there's anything else down here. We already got weapons. Yeah, alright. Let's go down to the hidden part and on out of this level. I got all the treasures. Which potions do you think would be cool to have in real life? Well, we do have one that just exists in real life. Bacchus wine. You know, if you get drunk, you go berserk. Well, I bought it. I have like a lot of gil. I still have 200,000 gil, so I think I'm okay on gil. All right. Now let's see if we can make the ultimate weapon real quick. We'll go to the surface. So after you get the rat tail, go back up. Unhealthy obsession with Funko Pops. Yeah, that's just like they're obsessed with consumption of things. Is really what Funko Pop thing is. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We need the other ship. Where is it? Where's my other ship? Is the... Or can this one do it? The Enterprise. Yeah. Need the Enterprise now. Pick up the hovercraft. And fly over to this island. Let's see if I can find it again. Mithril Island, I think. One thing I did like in Final Fantasy III is they had different music for like each airship, which I thought was pretty cool. I like this little heads-up display. It's very convenient. Yeah, I have to carry this little hovercraft over here. And just, you can lower it down wherever. So, this is probably a good place right here. You can land. Get in the hovercraft. I always thought the hovercraft was kind of like a weird thing they put in this game. It's like hovercraft of all things. I can't seem to get up onto this. There you go. Go up to talk to this guy. And get in the rat tail. This is a rat tail I've been looking for. Alright, here's some ore in return. Received adamantite. Maybe we could bring him another tail, and he'll give us some other ore. That might be cool. All right, let's see what we get with this one. I have to find that hole back. Where's that hole? Where is that hole? Clearly do not have this map as well memorized as I probably should. There it is, down right there. Agart. Assume they took the item copying bug out of this version. They might have. I didn't know there. I don't remember an item copying bug. Probably missed out on like a whole fleet of Ultima weapons. Seems like a weird place to use a hovercraft. It's a desert, yeah. Where's that little shop? Is it? Is it Tamra? I don't think it is. I think I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, I think this is the wrong place. Alright, let's kill these bugs. Yeah, the item copying plugin, you could even get permanent Daedric weapons that had 0 weight. I did a video on it. So you could shoot an arrow and then drop your weapon, I think. Oh no, you could drop the Daedric weapon on the ground, and if you picked it up after the spell expired, you'd get to keep it forever. Which is kind of cool. That's where we want. Kokel's Forge is over this way. Next time you get in a fight, go to a character's inventory, select a blank space in the main inventory, go up and select a piece of armor weapon, then run. When you re-equip it, there'll be 2. Huh. Alright, we could try it out. Master lost his spark, now he just sleeps the days away. He's up in his bed, I think. Sleeping. My smithing days are over! I won't forge a sword again until I find the legendary ore adamantite. Well, lucky you, son. Adamantite! Give me that old sword! I shall give it new life! Handed over Mythgraven Blade. Oh, that's right. He, like, transfers the Mythgraven Blade into something cool. It's ready! The Holy Sword Excalibur! Use it well! Received Excalibur. Kindling of the love of smithing that I had lost. Master's back. Sweet. Now, let's equip it. Excalibur. All right. No. Let's try it. Not really working. Yeah, it didn't work. I'll check Twitter. It'd be interesting. We'll test it out. You know, we'll see if it works. Oh, alright, thank you. Alright. Apparently the PlayStation port, this will work. All right. We'll try this again. All right. All right, so we're going to items. Choose the equip command. There's no equip command, is the problem. It's just items. Yeah, I can't select an empty space in the inventory. That's the problem. Yeah, I think it's been patched out of this version of the game because there's no equip command is the problem. Well, it was worth a try to figure out if it actually worked or not. Alright, now onto the Sylph Cave, I think. I have eye drops. I do. Alright. I think, though, I'm going to leave it there for the week because I'm out of time. So, anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. And having Edge throw infinite Excaliburs. Now, that's a cool idea, to throw the Excalibur. I think this is the Sylph Cave. This one is kind of a tough one. So, anyway, we'll probably go ahead and save that. I don't remember what you get out of the Sylph Cave, but we'll try it, and then we should be ready to rock the moon next time. So, anyway. Thanks, guys, and I will, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. I'll have Moonsong 3 coming just as soon as I can get it actually edited and make it good, you know. So I'll be trying to get that out as quickly as possible. My plan was actually to get that out at the end of March, but that didn't happen, and that's okay. Things like that come up, and that's what's kind of cool about being my own boss is I can't really fire myself. Like I can get away with turning in something late and not get fired because it's my workflow, and if I need to take time off for something, I can. That's what's great. That's the other thing about multiple income streams, like setting up your main couple of income streams, 2 or 3 that will kind of help sustain you, is that if you have to take time away from something, it's easier to scale back and scale up. Or, if I have to take a week off or a couple weeks off sometimes, I actually can still generate YouTube revenue because there's all that back catalog of videos that are playing for people and people are finding and watching and generating ad revenue or buying books and things like that. So once you have like a really stacked amount of content, whether it's on your blog or it's on a YouTube channel or whatever it's going to be, and you have something else that people can buy from that, especially those things will go together. You have to take time off, which happens. Maybe you get sick. I got COVID last year. I had to take a couple of weeks off. Or maybe you have to travel, you have a death in family or something, or you have a baby. Because I did this 2 years ago when my daughter was born. I planned to take time off. I had a book release. My daughter was born the next day, I think. No, 3 days later. So I had a book release. I think it was Crime of Sight. 3 days later, my daughter was born. All that stuff was set up ahead of time, so I could just walk away from it, and just the sales happened because I'd set everything up for it to happen. And bam, I got to take time off and still have the money happen. So that's what's great for people like, I want to try to figure out how to freelance graphic design, figuring out a couple of different ways that you can make money in that area, and then something else that you can do too, so that if anything starts to go bad on one of them, you still have something else that's propping you up. And if you're doing well on all of them, then you have extra money to save or to invest in something else. So anyway, that's my little business advice. It's really good to, it's not always great to split your attention too much, but to have a couple of different ways to make money. That way, if something's not great, you still have something else to back it up. Really helps. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time.